I think that meant it started. Yeah. Okay, it did. It did. Great. Recording started. All right. So, a couple of accessibility notes before we dive into things for everything. We do have a Google Translate embedded into our website. This is not perfect. It is the Google Translate option. But if you log on to our website at dcarts.dc.gov, you will find in the top right-hand corner a Google Translate drop-down menu where you can select the language and it will translate it into another language. We do have additional language access services, and we'll put out some more information about those. That will be part of some of our other workshops as well. We do have, for reasonable accommodation requests regarding access and inclusion, please contact us at our accessibility address, the CAH accessibility@dc.gov, no later than 5 business days before the start of an event. And for any other questions, please email us at cah@dc.gov. Those are our general inboxes. If you need to reach any of us individually, we are also available. This is my plug at the start of everything. We are going to need some grant review panelists as the season comes up. We'll have some more information about this, but if you have been a panelist in the past, it's time to consider if you are interested or willing to do that again. And also a great time to talk up the possibility of being a panelist to any of your friends, neighbors, colleagues, enemies, people on the street. We're very happy to talk to folks. And like I said, we'll have some more information about that soon. We do have a pretty robust calendar of events. I'm putting this up here if anybody wants to take a screenshot or anything like that. We will also post this on our social media and our website, but this is our general operating support program workshops and live chats. We are already robustly in this season. You are here at April 7th at the Navigating Submittable workshop. And like I said, we will have that full GOS workshop where we talk about the RFA on Thursday. If you are part of the capacity building cohort, if you are an organization that is totally new to this process, you might be considering the capacity building workshop Wednesdays at noon. We also have our weekly live chats on Fridays. I do want to highlight that on April 16th, that is Emancipation Day, and DC government observes Emancipation Day all day on April 16th. Our offices will be closed. And then also this grant, the General Operating Support Grant, closes on May 5th at 5 p.m. For those who may be interested in the projects, events, or festivals and East Arts grants, those are going to be opening next week. We will have an additional workshop scheduled for them that will come out. Things like the live chats and these navigating submittable workshops are open to all of the grant applications. You can come to these for help with any of the process. All right. Excuse me. All right, any questions so far? That was a lot of starting work. Great. Okay, so let's talk about accessing the application. Welcome to Submittable, everyone. We have moved to a new platform as of this month. We are, for these FY27 grants and moving forward, we are using Submittable. So we will not be using the old portal platform. You may have heard us refer to it as Jungle Lasers. You may have heard us call it the Grants Portal, any sort of thing. We are no longer using that platform. So if you have saved that in any way, if that's the address you've got saved on a browser, go ahead and update it to the new Submittable one. And you should shortly, if not already, you will not be able to access the old portal. If you have been a prior applicant, you should have received communications from us alerting you that we were migrating your profiles into our new system. And so if you wanted to grab any documents or things, we could not migrate everything, but we did migrate profiles. It's just everybody knows. I have a note here about logging into your account. For anybody who has applied to a grant with us in the last 14-ish years, you should have received an email from us, or at least the email that we had on file for you should have been contacted. If you did not receive an email from Submittable, check your spam folder. A couple of them landed there. If you have kind of a filtering or anything on there, you might want to check to see if you did receive the email somewhere. If you did receive an email, 2 questions to ask yourself. Was there a username and a link to reset the password? If you did, if there was a new username and link, then you are new to Submittable. There is no other account other than the one for us. And you should be able to click through and reset the password. If you are unable to do so, please email submittersupport@submittable.com. And I'm also going to put this name in the chat, support@submittable.com. If there was no username and reset link in the email, then there is already a Submittable account associated with that email address. So that may be a case of you have applied for a different grant program and a different agency, a different organization is using Submittable and you already have an account with them. And this could be you applied 5 years ago and you haven't touched it anytime, but the email address is linked up, so you already have an account. If that is the case for you, and you are having trouble accessing, again, reach out to that submitter support@submittable.com. Everybody should be linked up in some way. If you are brand new to this process entirely, you're going to be creating an account anyway, and that will be fun. Do let us know, though, if you were running into any problems or any issues, so that we can help, and we can help troubleshoot with you. A lot of things are going to be, we'll send you to this submitter support as they're helping us get this set up, but it's also good for all of us to check in with each other. All right. And just as a general reminder, when you are ready to start the application, we want you to save and upload all of your grant materials as PDF files. It's just going to be easier going forward. So before you get started with anything with any of our grants, and we do have some additional workshops, as I said, we're going to recommend that you read the RFA guidelines, whether it's for this general operating support grant or the upcoming eStarts and public events and festivals, projects, events, and festivals, or PEF grants. Make sure you determine your eligibility. We should have a list in there of what makes a project or a program or an organization eligible. You're going to go to apply for grants and select grant application portal to register or log in as a user. And as a reminder, these applications are only going to be available through the Submittable portal. Once you're in, you're going to select the grant program you would like, complete your application questions and narrative data, upload all your documents, double check, and you should get a grant submission confirmation email. And we're going to go through and break down what that's going to look like for you. So, screenshot time. This is our website. If you go to dcarts.dc.gov, you should find yourself to our landing page. In the top right-hand corner, you should find programs, and then you're going to drop down and click on grants. This is the same as it has been in the past. Once you get there, though, you're going to scroll through that page for links and many informational resources. That's going to include our updated guide to grants, any of the current requests for applications, fillable PDF copies of required documents, more information about our workshops, and the links to the portal. If you are interested in any of these grants that I've mentioned, like the projects, events, and festivals, and eStarts grants, like I said, they're going to open next week. But if you want to look at what last year's RFAs were asking for and get a sense of what we might be looking for this year, you should be able to find them. They'll be under past application materials. So once you log in, and I don't have an image of this, but when you get to this scroll down page, you're going to see 2 links for grant application portal. One is our old system, and one is the new system, and it will say Grant Application Portal Submittable. You want to select the Submittable one. We do have the old one still up there, but we will be removing it soon. And it should take you to this. This is our new landing page for the DC Commission on the Arts Submittable page. We have some helpful reminders here. You can save drafts as you go. We get some helpful resources on what browsers work best. So Chrome, Firefox, and Safari. They will follow up with with you about your submission by email. You just want to make sure you're not losing any of those emails to a spam filter, things like that. And we do have the Submit a Resource Center and Submittable customer support if you run into any technical difficulties. So, step one, you're going to sign in or sign up. You will see a couple of different programs open. We have the general operating support grants are open right now. eStarts will be open soon, PAF will be open soon, and some of our public art grants are also open. But you'll click on the program you would like and you'll click on Apply. If it's your first time using Submittable, you're going to sign up to create the account. If you already have your login information, you'll sign in. And this is a really good time to remind you, if you have applied to us at any point in the last 14 years, you should already have an account with Submittable. So don't create a new one. Let's make sure we get you linked up to the one that you should already have. If this is your very first time, you've never used Submittable before, then we're going to have the sign up option. And it's going to be just email, password, nice and familiar. Next, we're going to start the application. It's going to look a little bit different. So this is what one of our other programs has looked like. You're going to have an outline of the RFA included here. We're going to have saving the draft. It should auto save as you go, as you make adjustments and as you make updates. As you update any answers or load any documents, it should auto save, but it's always a good practice to save as you go. And we'll have some nice reminders on there. Then we're going to head into the layout. We have some eligibility questions. We've got a two-step process for the organization. And after you answer those questions and we've deemed you eligible, then we'll head into this overview section where you'll have that chance to put in your organization name or your project name. How are you applying, the types of support you might need, and kind of these introductory questions. We do have a lot of them saved on an additional upload. It's our questions and uploads document. And that is going to be really helpful as you work through this process. And we've got our request sections. These are going to be your short answer questions. For most of our projects, we're going to ask for things like, what's your mission statement? What's the vision statement? Tell us your budget narrative, and a couple of other prompts. We do have some word limit guidance that will be given down in the corner, and we'll also highlight the questions that are required. We've got a little bit of formatting fun for you to play with, so you can play around with that. We have our applicant profile. You're going to want to make sure that we've got the organization information here. More information there. And then we have these work samples and uploads. We have different guidance for GOS. Generally speaking, for the General Operating Support Grant, we're going to want 3 work samples and 3 support materials. And I'm going to update this slide to reflect that. We do have that guidance in the RFA. It's also in the questions and uploads. One thing that is really important to note this time around that is very different from last year. The new system on Submittable does not have support for YouTube links or Vimeo links. So you may be accustomed to our guidance being here, drop the YouTube link, and that's fine. We're going to need the files now. So there are ways to download your videos from YouTube. There are things like that. If anything like that happens or you run into any problems, do reach out to us so we can help you. That's the kind of tech support we are willing and able to provide. But we are going to be looking for the actual files for MP3s and MP4s. And other things. There will be a list. I know it's very faint to see, but underneath the uploads, there is going to be a list of the file types that are acceptable. So if you need some additional guidance on does this file feature work, it will be telling you there. And then, like I said, if you run into any problems with file types, do reach out to us, let us know so that we can help give you some guidance. We'll also have the additional upload section. And with all of these, we're going to tell you the acceptable file types. For the most part, we only want PDF for documents, but you will see some guidance there on what types of files are acceptable. The compliance documents are going to be very similar to what we've seen before. You're going to have the choose file. We do have the links included as well. So if you're trying to find the W-9 form that we're asking for, we have that link included. If you need the certificate of clean hands, we have the link to my tax there. So all of those things are going to be there as usual. And that is the rough and ready how to submittable. And I've got a couple of questions here in the chat. I'm going to stop sharing here for a moment and talk about some of these questions that have come through. Give me 1 second here. We had a question about institution type. Let me get into something else. This one down. Yes. That's what I need. 1 second there, Tim. All right. 1, 2. There's screen again. All right. So now you should be seeing the big one, the big submittable screen. This is the one for general operating support, the single year application. So I'm just going to scroll down through organization name. That's not the one that I need. Give me 1 second again here, folks. Let me get this up where I actually need it to be. Got my tester versions up. Submissions. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go from the beginning. Okay, all right. I'm on the DC Arts. I'm gonna go to programs. I'm gonna go to grants. Chat window open again. I'm gonna scroll down. I've got my jungle lasers and my submittable. I'm gonna go to my submittable. I'm gonna go to, let's pick this one, just for funsies. Got my overview. I've got my organization. I have all of these. My address has not changed. Yes, I have. Some of the questions you're going to see on this, and we'll go over this more in the official GOS workshop, they are informational more than anything else. All right. Excuse me. All right, so here's that question you had here, Tim, on or institution type. Yes. So this list is the one that we received from the NEA. So these are the official NEA designations of what type of institutions are. And for this, there are 50 plus options. You just want to pick the one that is closest to what you do. And that is, so Tim, remind me which organization you're with? And you can come off mute. That would be fine too. All right, so
Here it is,
you
Carrie. I'm
can, oh,
sorry. I
yeah,
couldn't find
all
my.
good.
Uh, we are a nonprofit arts
Uh-huh.
organization, but I don't see. I was in here looking, and I couldn't figure out what would be the closest one. So I looked under. There's Arts Service Organization is 17. I'm not sure if that's accurate.
You are, and
Uh,
you're the African American film, right?
yeah, we're a foundation. It could be 30.
You could be
Um,
30. You could also be cinema.
Yeah, I'm just so does let me ask you a question. Does that matter if we
Not a huge amount, to be perfectly honest.
okay,
It's going to be it's useful for us for informational purposes more than anything else.
got you. Got you. All
Yeah,
right, I
so
just wanted to
just,
make sure.
yeah, the closest, the one that feels right for you is the answer.
All right, I appreciate that. So I'll make that change, but I just wanted to double check before I threw something down and you went, nah, disqualified.
No, if a lot of these are going to be about just information gathering for us. And so that is something where, choose the thing that makes the most sense for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
And then Nate, you asked when grant reports are activated for the upcoming interim reports, how will they appear in Submittable? They should be in the organizational profile. Yes, we are actively getting them set up. That is a thing this week. And so you should hear from us shortly. We should send out some information about that and how to access those reports and how to fill them out. We will also probably do another workshop similar to this, and we'll put that out there as well. We'll send out a link and say, here are the times. We'll record a video and things like that. We are also new to Submittable here at the Commission. We, the staff, are also actively learning. So we're all in this together. It's a big teamwork situation. And then Elise, you asked, is that the same for program type? Yes, absolutely. Like with a lot of these drop-down menus, the primary discipline, the secondary disciplines, they are very long lists. You want to find the things that fit you the best. They're they are, like I said, informational more than anything else. So things that fit you best. And so with the program type, yes, you've got a lot of options here. We've got 30 plus options. So when you're talking about your programming, you can, it is the thing that fits the best. And we have a couple of kind of catch-all things like operating support, professional support, admin or artistic. The thing that seems to fit the best is the right answer. We're not going to penalize anybody or go back and say this doesn't fit precisely what we have some questions about this, like, unless it's a true red flag situation, in which case there's which is going to be very rare. I can't even imagine one right now. So I'm not going to worry about it until I have to. Any other questions from the group? I know this was a kind of a thing. Yes, if you have not received the email from Submittable with login information, email them. Yeah. Email them with the submitter support. It's also, if you run into any problems with that or anything happens, do let us know. You can always message me, uh, Dixie.no, uh, and tell me that you're having problems. Even if I am not your grant manager, I am still a grant manager, and I can always touch base with your grant manager, and then we can all be in the loop together. Um, but yeah, if you are running into any problems, you have not received the email, yes, do please reach out to them. And you can also let us know, like I said, always useful for us. Stop sharing my screen here. Any other questions, any other comments, any other concerns folks are having? I am going to be here for the next while. We wanted to make sure there were some opportunities for folks to, hop on, ask questions. I know this is a brand new system for us to be using, so just wanted to be available.
Carrie?
Yeah.
All right. What are your office hours? Because I love this format and I love what you guys are doing. I think it's going to probably be easier for me going through this new process if
hmm
I'm literally sitting there hands on, being able to kind of go through and ask questions. So, what are the office hours and where are you guys located?
We are at 200 I Street Southeast. We are near the stadium, the baseball stadium. I suppose I should clarify since there are so many now. Um,
Okay.
sorry, I am distracted as I write something. The other thing that we uh, will be having is if you need to come in, set up an appointment with a grant manager. We are open roughly 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Okay.
We will also have some additional office hours. We have live chats. We've got these submittable workshops. We'll have our regular workshops, and those will all be virtual. But, things like the live chats and these things are going to be very much like, stop by if you need help. We've got the time set aside so we can answer questions and things like that.
Got you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Carrie.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, And then we had a question about the GOS overview. We highlighted what looks like summary information. Is there space for longer responses? Yes. As you are in the application, there's going to be a couple of different question spaces where we're going to have some room for longer responses. Um, and then for the multi-year applications, is there a threshold for who decides if you are eligible to apply? Yes, we have that eligibility. It is listed in the guidelines. We also have an upcoming Q&A for the multi-year program. And I just put that on our Eventbrite, and we should send out an invitation for that as well shortly, so we can talk more in depth about that. Uh, and then can I repeat the changes I was going to make on the work sample upload slide? Yes, absolutely I can. The guidelines are uh, those work samples that I had in that image were for another one of our programs. So on the GOS application, we have some different guidance for work sample uploads. It is, I believe, for work samples, something like um, 10 images or 2 videos or 2 to 3 audio samples or a reasonable mix of them, like 5 images plus a short video. If you have questions about any of your work samples, if they're appropriate, if they're too long, anything like that, do please reach out to a grant manager. I'm very happy to take a look at what you are considering as a sample and making some recommendations on that, or taking a look at any of your application materials. You can reach out to your current grant manager. If you have one, you can also, like I said, reach out to me. I think it will also be for support materials. We would like 3-ish support materials. The ish is the if you have multiple letters of recommendation, that would count as one support type. But we do have some guidance given in the submittable application and in the request for application that has some more details on that. And we'll go over that more in the workshop itself once we are, you know, once we're there. Let me pull up that. I keep referring to the RFA, and it would be helpful if I drop that link here in the chat, wouldn't it? So that is our general operating support request for application. You should find there all of the materials. We also have, as part of that, we have a breakdown here on the questions and the different pieces that you might encounter. And just because I know folks are going to be coming up with questions about interim reports, you should be receiving a communication from your grant manager shortly, but we are pushing back the deadline. They will be due on May 4th. Let me make sure I have that right. May 4th. Yes, Monday, May 4th. We will be sending out some guidance and probably putting together some workshops to be helpful for that. So,
Carrie,
yeah,
we're ready to submit now. So do we need to wait? And I think I got
yes, please.
email. Okay.
Yes, please wait.
Okay.
We are on our way with that. But yeah, you can feel free to touch base with your grant manager. But yeah, just hold off. We want everything in the new system as much as we can.
Got it. All right.
Yeah,
Appreciate you again.
great. Thank you all. Yeah, but like I said, if anybody has any further questions, I will be sticking around for a while. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording here so that we can get things up on our YouTube, hopefully by the end of today or tomorrow.